Dr. Kropik from Spring Spine Center, and a couple of months ago I started with a video talking about posture. You know, all this took us by surprise, and a lot of people didn't have their homes ergonomically correct for working from home, and now it looks like this is going on and continuing to go on. A lot of students are choosing to do homeschool this semester, so what we want to work on is sitting properly in the chair. It makes a huge difference. We have a lot of muscular imbalances. Some of it is the cause because of sitting in the chair. Some of them we already had. And then we go from moving around and getting in and out of our cars to just sitting in one place all day. So I'm here with Sean Millhouse. He owns
Hello.
Fitness 101. And he worked with me during the pandemic because we had some times where we couldn't go to the gym, and he was helping me with some specific muscle groups that need to be worked to have proper posture and to reduce pain. It's very important. So Sean's going to demonstrate a few exercises after I'm finished talking, but let's start with posture. So do you see how he's sitting now? This is incorrect. This is not how you want to work on your computer. This is not how you want to look at your phone. So the first thing he needs to do is uncross his legs. Okay, this is a great chair, by the way. It has really good lumbar support, but he's got to sit in it properly. You can have a great chair, but if you're not sitting properly, it's not going to work. So look at how his knees are at 90 degrees and both of his feet are flat on the floor. I know you can't sit like that for 12 hours, but if you could at least start in proper posture, and when you start getting uncomfortable, get up rather than slouching or moving one way or the other. So his knees are at 90 degrees. If he were to have a computer in front of him, we'd want his gaze to be right about 85 degrees, not quite 90, it's a little too high. Elbows at 90 degrees as well. You need to work with lifting your chair or your computer, whatever you can do to achieve that proper posture. But if you sit incorrectly, like he was doing just a minute ago with his legs crossed and slouching, you can see that that doesn't allow for proper posture. So he's going to give us a few stretches that we can work on to attain that proper posture, okay?
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Kropik. All right, so like she just said, and I'm just gonna follow up on that. So when you sit for prolonged periods of time, basically you're creating some muscular imbalances. So like when you sit, the glutes turn off or they shut off. The hip flexors are overactive and they just get really tight because they're in a fixed position for so long. And then also the upper back muscles, those also get shut off, and then the chest muscles get tight. So I just want to go through a series of an exercise and a stretch for those areas. So we turn on the glutes and then we stretch out the hip flexors. And then the other two, we're going to turn on the upper back muscles and then stretch the chest. Okay, so Dr. Kropik's going to lay down for me and she's going to show me. So the first one, we're going to activate the glutes. Just chair all the way. So, and she's just simply, she's doing a hip thrust, okay? So she's lifting up, and then we'll just do like, let's say 15 repetitions. So you're gonna go all the way down, and like when she's lifting up, she's squeezing her glutes, keeping the abs in tight, okay? And then just up, down, and then I would go maybe 1 to 2 seconds up, 1 to 2 seconds down, maybe, and you get to the top, kind of really pause, but again, you're really focused on squeezing those glutes and turning those on, okay? So I'd say a set of 15, then when you get done, so let's pretend like she did 15 of them, then she's gonna come up and do a kneeling hip flexor stretch. We gotta make sure we do both sides on this. So let's do, put your right, yeah, that's fine. So really important on this one is you get your knee, both knees should be pretty close to 90 degrees. The one underneath you, you wanna keep that butt cheek squeezed or that glute squeezed with the abs pulled in tight. So she's pulling her belly button towards her spine, her glute is squeezed, and then she's gonna take that same side arm, so that right arm, and then just reach straight up, keeping the abs tight and that right butt cheek squeeze. Do you feel that in that right hip flexor?
Yeah.
Okay, and then so you're gonna hold that for about 30 to 45 seconds, and then let's go ahead and switch sides so they can see it on the other side. Same thing, so knees at 90, belly button's pulled in tight, left butt cheek is squeezed now, and then just reaching up with that left arm, and you're stretching that left hip flexor. And the hip flexor is right here, so you should literally, you can feel it anywhere from the top of the thigh, maybe even all the way up closer to the rib cage.
On our ribs
Yep.
too.
And it's just, make sure, super important, you squeeze the glute, because when you're squeezing the glute, you're stretching the hip flexor, and we're just really opening it up, okay? So that's to open up the lower end. So just to kind of repeat, so we're doing the hip thrust 15 times, then we'll stand up and then we'll stretch the hip flexors each side for 30 to 45 seconds, okay? So now she's gonna lay over on her back again, and then we're gonna activate those upper back muscles, okay? So feet are flat, knees bent. Super important that you pull the abs in tight again, because we gotta make sure we're opening that chest and stretching the chest and not just moving and arching and unarching the back, okay? So we gotta pull the belly button in tight, and then go ahead and get your arms in like a W position. So we're gonna drop your elbows a little bit more, right about there, okay? And then literally all she's gonna do, this is called isometric, she's gonna push into the floor, keeping the abs tight, push against the floor, like squeezing those shoulder blades. We're gonna hold that for about 5 seconds. So you're pinching those shoulder blades, okay? And then we'll rest. And then we'll do it again. So pinch those shoulder blades, keeping those abs tight. You just want to make sure that the back's not arching, okay? So you make sure you're stretching that chest. You feel it through the chest and the shoulders.
Feel the back of my arms.
Yep, good. Okay.
Those extensors.
Okay, so 5 seconds, and then we'll do maybe about 10 repetitions of that, okay? Just make sure you keep breathing, keep the belly button pulled in tight, okay?
And then get off the floor. Get off the floor carefully.
Oh, there you go.
If you have Sean, he
You can just help you up.
Yeah, just like that. But if
That
you
should be a
don't,
whole, that'll be a whole nother video. That's a good video.
Exactly. Okay.
Okay, so next, so that turned on the upper back muscles. Now we have to stretch the front side of the chest out, okay? So inside corners work best for this. Stagger your feet. You get kind of in close to the wall, and we're gonna get the arms in that same W position, okay? And then we're gonna kind of lean into it. Again, squeezing those shoulder blades, and you're really trying to stretch that chest and shoulder out, okay? One thing you gotta be careful of, and she's doing a pretty good job, is not elevating the shoulders. We wanna kind of keep them down and relaxed, but also keeping that belly button in tight, okay? So if you're relaxing those abs, all she's gonna do is arch your back, and you're really not stretching the chest. You gotta pull the belly button in tight and squeeze those shoulders. You feel that?
I feel it.
Okay, and then we'll switch feet. So she's gonna do 30 to 45 seconds on both sides, or both feet, I'm sorry. You feel that through the chest and the shoulders? Okay, so again, we just activated all these muscles, and now we're stretching the front side, okay? And then if you can do those 4, at least once a day, maybe twice a day, maybe at lunchtime and after work, all it's doing is you're just trying to correct some of the imbalances and get the blood flow in the upper back muscles and the glutes, and then just stretching the front side, and that'll help kind of undo some of the damage you've done by sitting most of the day. So
you can start doing those now. Start doing them, because it's going to make a difference in how you feel. It's going to make a difference in how you look when you're standing. Your posture is going to be better. You're going to feel better. But if you have a problem, if you're doing these stretches and you're having any pain, you need to stop. You need to get with one of us. I can help with any spinal alignments that need to be made. Sean can help you with these muscular imbalances. Some of these exercises may not work for you if you're injured in some area, or if you've already been sitting like this for 20 years. So you might need help with it, and it's always good to have a personal trainer to work with you one-on-one, to help with you, to just focus the exercises on what you need. These are pretty simple, and they're safe, and they should be safe. But there are some people who can't get down on the floor, and there's some people who can't get up off the floor, which we talked about a minute ago. So that may not be the right exercise for you. So if you get with one of us personally, we can help you design a program that'll work.
Yeah, and Dr. Kropik, I mean, like she just mentioned, I mean, it's just a good 1-2 punch. I mean, she's doing some things in her office that I'm not able to or allowed to, and addressing the spinal issues and things like that. My job is really just to correct some of the muscular imbalances and just really work to strengthen what needs to be strengthened and stretch what needs to be lengthened.
Right, and the adjustments, none of that works unless you work on the muscles as well. So it really does go hand in hand.
Yeah. So
we hope you've enjoyed this and that it's given you some really good information. Make some comments and tell us what else you'd like to hear about. Hope you have a great day.
All right, thank you so much.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.